1919 saw the election of the first woman Member of Parliament, the culmination of the fight for women's suffrage. Mrs. Emmeline Pankhurst, leader of the suffragettes. The movement had fought for women to have the vote for over 60 years. Before long, they were quietly conquering every citadel of power. Over the past 60 years, one of the most unifying elements in this woman's world has been the women's magazines. They provided encouragement, advice, and a means of communication between women in every sphere. The editor of such a periodical has a nationwide audience and a national responsibility. Here, arriving at the Savoy Hotel, is one of the most enterprising women of our time, record-breaking solo pilot Sheila Scott. She was attending a reception to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the conception of one of Britain's best-known magazines. Its present editor is Jean Twiddy, one of the most influential women in modern journalism. Other celebrities there included Virginia McKenna and Michael Crawford, one of the stars of the Fox film Hello, Dolly. Following her roles in several delightful animal pictures, Virginia McKenna is now helping the cause of wildlife in reality. Lana Morris and Margaret Tyzack of film and Forsyte Saga fame. Michael Crawford's being shown part of the original letterpress machine, which during its working life printed well over 2,000 million copies. Today, the magazine has around 4.5 million readers every week. To meet this weekly deadline creates tremendous editorial pressure. Some 80 pages of information and entertainment, and less than a week to put it all together. Here, Jean Twiddy and art editor John Regan consider illustrations for the fiction pages. Focal point of every woman's magazine are the clothes its readers will wear. Fashion editor Jenny Hogben discusses some forthcoming items. And here a design with Mexico in mind, a mascot to encourage England's victory. Meanwhile, feature writers handle the stories which provide the news angle. In this case, Betty Jones has an assignment to visit the Movietone film library, one of the largest in the world. It contains priceless archive material going way back to the years when women were still battling for the vote. Sally Patience has been covering an event featuring youth, a hostel for girls in North London opened by Princess Anne. It's hoped to set up a number of hostels as temporary accommodation for new arrivals in the capital. Shortage of accommodation is often a major cause of young people drifting into the world of the twilight society, a problem facing many daughters and many mothers. So inevitably, it's a major discussion point in a woman's magazine. Sally Patience discovers the facts about the hostel where the girls can stay for 4 guineas a week on full board. With accommodation for 15 visitors, it's run by the London Centre, a charity which urgently needs more funds to continue the work. Not least of the pressures in an editorial office is dealing with the avalanche of mail. The magazines also run their own kitchens to make absolutely sure the recipes they publish are not only correct, but easy to understand and put into practice. On these too, the editor must give a final verdict. She and her executive staff must reflect not only the ever-changing scene, but the taste of their readers in food, fashion, life, and the way it's lived. What will really interest women in the weeks to come? What will make the most appealing front cover? Every week of every year, these questions are considered by the editorial staffs of 53 different women's magazines currently on sale. Jean Twiddy, with 25 years' experience on magazines, is the only woman editor in Fleet Street who is a publisher as well. She's is on her way to the printers with the latest issue checked, corrected, and marked "Passed for press. Go ahead." After the linotype operators have transformed manuscript into lines of print in metal, the illustrations are photographed through a series of filters to separate the colors for printing. Negatives of the illustrations and text are then assembled to make complete pages. Now special prints are made and transferred to copper cylinders by the process of electronic etching. These cylinders are transferred to the photogravure printing presses, which produce 28,000 complete copies of the magazine every hour. A startling fact about women's magazines is that they're read by very nearly every woman in the country, and even men are known to read them with understandable interest. There are just over 21 million women readers in Britain. 14 million of them regularly buy a woman's magazine. 19 million read one fairly often. And no sooner is one issue going to press than the next is underway. Sally Patience has an appointment with an important picture. The latest portrait of the Queen by Pietro Annigoni has already been reproduced in newspapers and magazines in over 40 countries. Her Majesty herself attended the unveiling before leaving on the royal tour. In the reign of the first Elizabeth, the Queen ruled in a world of men. Today, the Queen rules in a world where women are equal as never before.